It was 11 o'clock at night. A man had just finished his work and was on his way home. Every night, he used the same bus to go back his house. That bus was part of his daily life, like many ordinary people. But that night was different. As soon as he got on the bus, he felt that something was wrong. This was not a normal bus. It felt like a bus that was traveling to another world, not our world. The passengers were not even normal people either. The man said, on that bus, I was sitting next to people who looked like they were dead. They were not breathing. They were sitting still like statues. When you finish listening to this story, you will ask yourself, is this movie or is this real? Honestly, this become one of the scariest stories ever shared on the channel. So now, dear listener, the most important question is, was this story real or not? Let's begin the story. The man's name was Sultan. He was 28 years old. Sultan working for a company as an accountant. He did not own a car yet. Some people might think a 28 years old man with a job but no car, that's strange. But in Arab culture, this is not normal. In Arab culture, when a man works and grow older, it's expected that he has own car. Sultan said, right now I'm focusing on my fight and preparing myself to get married to save money and later I will buy a car and everything else. His job was normal and he was thankful to Allah. Every night he took the bus home. That bus had become something he depended on. One night, Sultan stayed late at work. He didn't leave until 11 p.m. He said, that night I could not tell if I was awake or dreaming. When he finally left work, he went to the usual place where he waited for the bus. Soon, bus arrived, just like always. From the outside, it looked modern and beautiful, just like the buses he used every night. Clean, comfortable, attractive. But when he stepped inside, everything changed. The inside of the bus was old, very old. It looked like a bus from many years ago, worn out and forgotten. I did not believe my eyes. That was the first shock. Then he noticed something else. There were about 16 passengers on the bus. At 11 p.m., this was strange. Usually at that time, he saw very few people. But what shocked him the most was their behavior. Everyone was silent. No one was talking. No one was moving. All of them were staring straight ahead. No emotions, no reactions. The silence was heavy. He said, I felt like these people had come from the infernal, as if someone had died and everyone was filled with deep sadness. Confused and scared, Sultan looked for a seat. Quietly, he walked to the back and finally found a place to sit. On the seat next to me, there was an old man. I guess he was around 70 years old. While I was looking around, the bus doors closed and the bus started moving. At first, I did not panic. I told myself, maybe it's just a strange night. I put on my earphone and took out my phone, trying to pass the time until I reached home. My neighborhood was not far. Sometimes I removed one earphone to check where the bus was going. The road looked normal. It was the same road I travel every night. But dear listener, something felt very wrong. Normally, when you ride a bus, you know how people behave. Some talk to each other, some listen to music, some use their phones. But on this bus, not a single person was doing any of that. No talking, no phones, no movement. Then I noticed something that frightened me even more. In human eyes, the white part is usually more visible than the black. But these people, the black part in their eyes was larger than the white. I thought to myself, are these people zombies? Or did I get on the wrong bus? As I continued listening to my earphone, the phone signal kept disappearing and coming back. This shocked me. I use this road every day and my signal had never acted like this before. When I looked outside, the place was still the same normal road. Then my eyes returned to the old man beside me. He was staring straight ahead, no movement, no blinking. I decided to greet him. I said, Uncle, how are you? No answer. He did not react at all. He was like stone. I watched his face carefully. Normally, when someone breathing, you see their chest rise and fall. But his chest, it did not move. It was as if breath was stuck inside him. I looked to the other side. There was a young woman and child. They were the same, staring forward, not looking left or right, not moving at all. At that moment, fear entered my heart. I told myself, I need to go off this bus and take another one. I did not think I was in another world yet, but I knew something was very wrong. There was a small red button on the bus you press to stop it. I pressed it. Nothing happened. I pressed it again. The bus did not stop, the doors did not open. I stood up and said to myself, I will tell the driver to stop. I walked toward the front. I said, Uncle driver, please stop the bus. This is my stop. No response. The driver was just like the old man, frozen, stuck to the steering wheel, staring straight ahead. What shocked me most was his hands. They were so thin, so empty. A normal human body, even a thin person has flesh between the skin and the bones. But this man, it was like he had no flesh at all, only skin and bone, sharp and dry. His eyes were the same as the others, too much black, very little white. I spoke again. Uncle, please stop. No answer. On the dashboard, there was a small button to open the bus doors. I pressed it. The doors did not open. The driver did not react. I looked back at the passengers. They were all sitting like statues, silent, motionless. No one looked at me, no one spoke. I tried the button again. Nothing. At that moment, I confused and terrified. I thought to myself, am I dreaming? Slowly, I walked back to my seat and sat down. At that moment, I told myself I must talk to someone. I did not know what kind of bus I was on or what situation I was trapped in. The most important thing was to inform my family so they would know where I was. I took out my phone and tried to make a call. That's when I realized something profound. My phone had no signal at all. I was shocked, confused, scared. I thought, isn't this the same road I travel every day? But deep inside, I felt it. We were no longer in the same place. The bus had entered neighborhoods I had never seen before. I tried to calm myself. I said, maybe the bus took a short run to drop people off. But what truly frightened me was this. There were no lights, no even wind, no phone signal, no one call. I sat there, frozen. As time passed, the bus kept moving, and I did nothing. Then suddenly, we entered an open empty land. It felt like we had left the city completely. My fear grew stronger. I stood up and said to myself, this is not right. I must get off this bus no matter what. Dear listener, everything Sultan told so far is nothing to compare to what came next. What happened after this is something the Iris did not want to hear. Trying to escape, I tried to break the window. It did not crack. It did not move. I tried to force the doors open. Nothing. It felt like the bus was made of solid iron. I used all my strength, but failed. At that moment, I gave up. I sat down on the floor near the driver and I thought, this is the end. Either I will be killed or my soul will leave my body. I felt like I had entered another world. Imagine, dear listener, being locked in a room by criminals. You try to escape many times, but nothing works. Your mind goes empty. That's exactly how I felt. As I sat there on the floor, confused and shaking, the driver slowly turning his head toward me, very slowly. Then he opened his mouth. A horrible smell came out. It was the smell of mouth that had never been cleaned in a lifetime. A rotten, unbearable smell. The driver was sitting on the floor too, facing me. The smell reached me. Then suddenly, he turned back and stared forward again, as if nothing had happened. I was shocked. What's wrong with this man? I thought. As the bus continued, we stopped in front of a house standing alone in the empty land. The moment I saw it, my soul whispered to me, this house is full of evil. The bus stopped. The driver turned and looked at me again. Then he spoke. He said, whoever wanted to get off, this is your stop. I was shocked. I said, Uncle, I pressed the stop button long ago. Why you didn't stop earlier? I left the city already. He stayed silent. He turned back forward again. I thought, the door is open, get off now, or this bus will finish you. As I stepped down, I felt like things were surrounding me. I cannot call them people. They felt like creatures. I heard strange sounds. Fear entered me deeply. I turned back and I saw the driver pressing the button to close the doors. I shouted inside myself, I can't get off here. As the door was closing, I ran. The door shut. The bus moved again. I sat there, shocked, thinking, where will it take me now? The bus stopped again. This time, we were in a graveyard. The bus stopped for the first time. Some passengers got off. Out four people, an old man, a young boy, and a grown woman. I was shocked. What are they doing here? I thought, is there dead? The bus doors closed softly and moved again. Soon we entered a huge mountain with road passing through them. The bus went into the deep darkened tunnel. Then suddenly all the lights turned off. Complete darkness. I sat there shaking. What was happening? I whispered. When we come out of the darkness, I saw something impossible. I was alone, no driver, no passengers. The bus was moving by itself. Dear listener, imagine that moment. This is not something you can explain with words. Such thing only happen in dreams. But this was real. I panicked. I looked at the driver's seat. No one was there. I grabbed the steering wheel and tried to drive. It was made of iron. I could not move it. As we approached a sharp turn, I thought we will crash. But the bus ran by itself. Right, left. No driver. As I sat there, frozen, suddenly I felt a cold hand touch my neck. I jumped up and turned around. No one. I began seeing dark creatures outside. They looked like animals, but not animals. Black caves, long legs. I cannot describe them. Then we stopped near a place that looked like a graveyard again. Some graveyard had names written on them. The bus stopped suddenly. The door opened. It was like the bus saying, this is your stop. I thought to myself, do I get off here? In graveyard? A grave that looked like ready? Was this meant for me? Was I supposed to get off and be burned here? I shouted, there is no way I get him off. I will not get down. I was angry. I started shouting, cursing, and saying bad words out of fear. I pressed the small door button again and again, maybe 100 times. The door would open, then close it again. Every time I touched the button, it opened by itself, then closed it again. Finally, the bus starts moving. I said, Alhamdulillah, thanks God. As long as the bus was moving, I still had hope. Soon we stopped near a mountain, a high mountain road. I thought, are we going to climb this mountain now? The bus started going up by itself. Mountain roads are the most dangerous roads. Cars can lose their brakes. They can roll backward and crash. But the bus moved perfectly. It felt like the bus was flying, not touching on the ground at all. I could not even feel the road. As we continue, we reached the top of the mountain, near the places where the car usually go down. Before going down, the bus stopped for a moment, as if it had placed its feet back on the ground. Then it started shaking. That shaking was the most terrifying moment. I was shaking hopeless, whispering the Shahada, believing this was the end. Then suddenly, the bus lost control. It flew forward. We went off the road. The bus rolled and rolled. I thought this is the end, my soul going back to Allah. Then everything went black. When I wake up, I was in hospital. I tried to open my eyes. My body felt heavy. I could not move. Slowly, I became fully awake. I saw my family around me, my brother, my mother, my father. I spoke and said, what happened to me? Where am I? They said, relax, relax. You are fine. You will be okay. Their tone surprised me. They spoke to me as I had only fainted, like someone who had small fever and recovered. I said, what happened? How I did get here? My brother said, brother, when you left to work and got the bus, you suddenly collapsed, you fell on the ground. We don't know what caused it. Then he said something shocking. A man picked you up. When he described that man, it was the same old man who was sitting next to me on the bus at the beginning of the story. That man saved you. He called an ambulance and they brought you to the hospital immediately. The hospital called us and that's how we come here. I asked the doctor, what's wrong with me? The doctor said, you are fine. You are healthy. You were just very tired from the work and become dizzy. Nothing else. Then I remembered something. I remember a wound on my face when the bus crashed. I touched my face. There was nothing. No injury, no scar, no pain. I said to my family, how it's possible that I am healthy after such a terrible crash? They looked at me in shock. What crash? They said. I told them everything. The bus, the passenger, the strange places, the graveyard, the mountains. They were silent. They said, all of this happened while you were unconscious. They said it felt real to me, but it was not physical real, just like this. If I told you you eat breakfast in the morning, you would believe it 100%. But if I told you you did not eat your breakfast, you only dreamed it, you will refuse. Sultan say that is how really felt it to me. What's become clear was this. When Sultan collapsed, his mind entered a state that felt real, almost like another wall. But it was not the wall of chain, because Allah has protected humans from entering that wall easily. What happened felt like chain-related experience or spiritual test. The biggest mistake Sultan was made was this. During all that fear, he did not remember Allah, he did not read Adkar, he did not seek protection. If he had remembered Allah, if he had read even a little dhikr, this experience may have ended immediately. But he stayed silent. Dear listener, what do you think really happened to Sultan? Was it medical condition, spiritual experience, or something else? Share your opinion in the comment section. This story is truly strange. I enjoy telling it, but it was also frightening. For those listening at night, tonight sleep may not come easily. And if you do sleep, May Allah protect you from entering a night like Sultan. This is the end of the video. Until we meet the next one, goodbye. See you the next free day.